Good evening. India's national security is in jeopardy. The situation with China at the border is sensitive. There is tremendous build-up on the other side of the line of actual control. China has ramped up infrastructure, and the assumption is they are going to be there permanently. These are not my words. This is in fact verbatim from a recent affidavit filed by the Defense Ministry before the Supreme Court. It goes against much of what we've been hearing, right? Be it the Prime Minister's original statement that no one has entered India's borders, or the statement of the Home Minister Amit Shah that India will not tolerate any challenges at its borders. In fact, it would be fair to say that there has been mostly silence or denial on what is and was transpiring at the line of actual control. So this latest admission before the Supreme Court contradicts things just a bit, right? Now, these admissions from the government were made before the Supreme Court in a specific case. The government is arguing, allow us to waive the environmental guidelines on road width for the Char Dham corridor. Now you must be wondering, why is the Char Dham project conceived in 2016 relevant here to the line of actual control video? Well, hear me out. The government wants to widen 889 kilometers of hill roads to provide all-weather connectivity between major Hindu pilgrimage sites in Uttarakhand. In fact, in September of 2020, the Supreme Court had asked the government to stick to its own guidelines of 5.5 meter wide roads in hilly areas. Now the centre is saying that the army needs 10 meter wide roads to move personnel, heavy machinery and weaponry. Fair, right? Especially because the situation with China is so sensitive. The lines I read right at the start, national security in jeopardy, China's roads, railway infrastructure, was all said in this context. Now, let's leave aside the environment versus defense debate for this video and circle back to the centre's admission that there is urgent and present danger from China at the border, which looks like a fairly valid statement, right? See it in the context of all that China has been up to just in relation to the line of actual control.
India has now formally responded to the US Department of Defense's annual report, which among other things confirms China's 100-village home on the disputed territory near the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh. India says it neither accepts the illegal occupation nor the unjustified Chinese claims. The Pentagon reports also talks of the Chinese installing a fiber optic network in remote areas of the Western Himalayas to provide faster communications and increased protection from foreign interception. Also, China's army has conducted extensive combined arms and joint trainings throughout 2020 to prepare for any escalation of border tensions. This is from the Pentagon report. On November 9th, China's state broadcaster CCTV reported that its army concluded high-altitude exercises in the Tibetan Plateau region near the LAC and included some of China's most powerful howitzers, the latest long-range rocket launchers and Air Force bombers, while light tanks was used in assault training on mountainous terrain. This followed 3-day military exercises by India along the LAC in Ladakh. There are also multiple reports of Chinese incursions increasing manifold in the northeastern sector. Many are calling it the sharpest increase since the 1962 war with China. So, reports of more foot patrols by Chinese soldiers, more air sorties, more senior Chinese army officials visiting forward posts. We must also consider that China has inaugurated a high-speed train from Lhasa to the LAC and a strategic tunnel, both of which have halved the time it would take the Chinese army to reach the LAC along Arunachal Pradesh. The bigger picture is in fact more grave. China has delivered its largest and most advanced warship of its class to Pakistan recently. It has exponentially increased its aggressions near and against Taiwan, including hundreds of daily air incursions in the grey zone between China and Taiwan. The US, which has been vocal about how it will back Taiwan should China cross the line, is also on China's radar. Reuters recently published satellite images which show that China has built mock-ups of several US warships for target practice in the deserts of Xinjiang.
So that full synopsis, all those details, is to say the story of China's increasingly aggressive military strategy, especially against India, is hands down one of the biggest stories of the year. Tell us if you'd like us to do a full lowdown on all that's been happening in China. Perhaps you want to hear more about the historic resolution that was passed by the Chinese Communist Party at its plenary session. In fact, we recently spoke to journalist and retired strategic affairs expert and army officer Ajay Shukla, who explains why and how China's bullish behavior has dominated headlines and defense circles across the world, except in India, the one country which is in active and sort of physical conflict with it. We'll link up that video for you. I have to say, it's a must watch. I'm going to stop here for today. If you found value in this video and you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and click that bell icon. If you're watching this on Instagram, follow us and share this video. Now, all of these little things make a big impact. A subscribe, a comment actually help us reach more people. Remember, all of this has been painstakingly researched, fact-checked, and produced. If this has been worthy, you can contribute to help us do more in this series. The link to contribute is again in the description. If you've been watching, thank you for your time.